Thank you so much for coming to meet with us today, Angela. We know you have a very busy work schedule and we appreciate you taking the time. So today the three of us are going to be talking to you about our new Year 8 History unit within the junior secondary. So this unit has worked in conjunction with Camel State High School's mission values of creating a sense of belonging, security and happiness within our students, hopefully allowing them to become lifelong learners. Now this also links with the 6 key principles of junior secondary at KSHS, which involve, distinct identity, quality teaching, student well-being, parent and community involvement, local decision making and leadership. So these have all contributed to making the foundation of our history unit based on medieval Europe. Ashley?
Okay, so we believe that this unit would meet the needs of the junior secondary approach at Camel State High School, as we have just discussed. We have further research where a report was conducted on the brain development of adolescents and how it affects their ability to learn within the classroom. It was concluded from this research that educators must value the middle years as a unique period of opportunity and provide curriculum and assessment that are relevant, authentic and challenging. So throughout this history unit, we have provided opportunities for the students to engage with content that will be interesting and relevant to them.
We found from further research that this history unit will cater for the diverse learning characteristics of the learners in Year 8. According to Gibson, Regan and Wynne, as teachers we need to be aware that the students in middle years are going through rapid changes developmentally, which effectively cause their learning styles to become unpredictable. Therefore, it is important that all students have opportunities to explain their thoughts, and teachers need to listen carefully to their students. Throughout this unit, the students are provided with activities where they share their research and are encouraged to be creative. With this in mind, we now ask you to cast your mind to a Year 8 classroom in which this history unit would take place.
This Year 8 history unit has the application of 3 history standards from the Australian curriculum. To begin the unit, the students will be looking at the way of life in medieval Europe and the role and relationships of different groups in society. Students will be grouped based on the hierarchy of medieval Europe, for example 5 groups: kings, nobles, church, knights and peasants. They will research the elements of these people and present the information at the end of the class. In the second lesson, students will research further into other medieval societies and particularly focus on the hierarchies. From this research, they will then develop a Venn diagram as a group comparing the societies. This is an example of higher order thinking. According to Hilton and Hilton, the inclusion of higher order thinking skills as a middle schooling practice in conjunction with other pedagogies will greatly enhance the prospect of meeting middle school students developing cognitive needs. The third lesson will focus more on the role that religion played and how it impacted on their daily life. This will encourage students to develop knowledge on religion. From these lessons, students will be assessed on their Venn diagrams and their ability to demonstrate in-depth research of the medieval societies. This form of assessment also links to productive pedagogies framework, as it encourages them to become more engaged and find more links to the work. This will effectively lead on to the next section of the unit.
This section of the unit will have the students looking at the Ikara Code continuity and change in society in one of the key following areas: crime and punishment, military and defence system, towns, cities and commerce. The key area that will be involved in this will be military and defence system, looking mainly at these key topics: England's military hierarchy, comparing major wars and what caused them, religion, political debates and other various causes, various military defence systems, siege weapons, armour, weapons, castle defence systems, the roles that women played throughout the wars in medieval times, and lastly, the creation of a catapult, which has the students showing their work, which is a part of the assessment. Students will be working in small teams, tying in the collaborative learning pedagogies that are linked in this unit. They will be encouraged with trial and error and with what works and doesn't with the various materials they are given, looking at key parts that makes up a catapult. Students will be asked various questions as they complete in their catapult to assess their knowledge and understanding on how they work, looking at comparing the features of a real-life catapult to that of their own work. Some examples of these are what mechanisms were used to hold back and launch, what were placed in the catapults to be launched, and what were the materials mainly used. So both the Venn diagram and the group activity of the catapult are pieces of formative assessment which will lead onto the summative assessment which students will participate in a role play.
The final sections of the history lessons align with the Ikara standard, the dominance of the Catholic Church and the role of significant individuals. During the final lessons of the unit, students are placed into groups and are given different scenarios for a role-play presentation. Each member of the group is assigned a role and must recall a knowledge learnt throughout the unit and further research to ensure they comprehend their individual characters. Studies show that students will have a better understanding of subject content when they are engaged in experiential learning activities, demonstrating the benefits of implementing this role-play into the unit. Although the students work individually to investigate their characters, the groups will collaborate when developing the role-play. In doing this, each student is able to display knowledge on different characters and can discuss the relationships between each, demonstrating communication skills whilst valuing all group members' perspectives and ideas. Although the role-play has been implemented into the history unit, cross-curricular links are also evident. The connections to literacy are made as students are asked to interpret and discuss their peers' presentations regarding tone, speech, and historical accuracy of characters. Here is a quick example of a presentation.
I order thee to stick thy hand into the boiling water to retrieve the boiling stone.
As one can see, the role-play allows students to understand the intellectual quality of the unit in an engaging manner.
Thanks for meeting us today, Angela. I hope you've given you a better idea of what we're proposing with our unit and how it links to the unit in our junior secondary approach we have here at Canmore State High School.